Fista, we're away in this epic tag team championship battle between the Parea and Gods and Monsters.
Home field advantage for the Parea HQ complex here in Hindley Street. The premier nightclub destination in Adelaide is home field for the Parea. You can tell from the Parea shirts in the crowd. You can tell from the reactions. This is, however, a different Parea than we have seen, Tyler Daniels. There's an arrogance, there's a cockiness that comes with being only the second two-time RCW Tag Team champion.
Well, maybe they deserve that. I mean, you think about the last show when they won that title back in that hardcore tag match between them and the Armstrongs. They took a beating and still were able to come out with a victory against the Armstrongs.
And to be fair, they do have a victory already over Gods and Monsters.
Right here, if you don't mind, in HQ.
That's right, that's right. Gods and Monsters yet to hold the tag team gold aloft. Brody Marshall, however, of course, a multi-time RCW champion and has been a tag champion before. He has been a
tag team champion, absolutely.
With yourself in the Savage Gentleman.
Correct.
Grim, the most decorated Riot City wrestling champion in the company's history.
So look, they have experience. They know what it takes to be on top. There's no doubt about it. They know what it takes to win that title.
And always the maxiom is held up, you know, you can have two great champions in a team, but that doesn't make a championship team.
Absolutely.
With Grim and Brody, it does. We have seen Gods and Monsters gel together. These two were the worst of enemies. I've been caught in a pull-apart between the two of them.
This is true.
The Latvian Hall, terrifying moment in my life. They have pulled together, found commonality, brought Mickey Fortune in, and Gods and Monsters is a dominant faction.
We talked about the arrogance. Right now we're seeing Gabriel Aeros dancing to the beat of the count being put down by Michael Kent.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about these boys, I've got to say. We've seen them come up through the ranks. They're good boys, both of them. They know what they're doing, incredibly skilled in the ring. But those tag team victories have gone to their heads perhaps a little bit. Aeros, of course, having appeared back-to-back on World Series wrestling tournaments.
Absolutely.
Even competing against the great Joey Ryan.
Absolutely. Again, right here in HQ. I tell you what, HQ's been a heck of a hunting ground for Gabriel Aeros.
It's been a heck of a venue for all of Riot City Wrestling. We thank HQ Complex for having us here. Long live the King, another successful event.
That right there is interesting though, Sean. The Parea have seemed to be playing games, maybe in his arrogance as you said, but it's just seen a little bit of frustration there in Brody Marshall. They've been wanting to he's been wanting to start this match and the Parea have been switching back and forth, not locking up, and a little bit of frustration now creeping in.
Well, Brody, of course, is dealing with a massive amount of frustration coming back off the injured list.
This is true.
I have no idea what Gabriel was doing there, but it kind of reminded me of that little chicken hawk in the Warner Brothers cartoons.
I think the kids call it dancing these days, but I'm not sure.
We're old, aren't we?
Apparently. When I look at that, I'm okay to be old, Sean, to be honest.
Gabriel, turn around. You're not going to like the view. Big Sparta boot there. Gods and Monsters didn't come to dance. They came to do business, and now Eli Theseus finds himself facing two mountains.
To be fair, he fronted up to them, front on.
Gods and Monsters taking advantage of the count. Huge elbow there from the Viking.
That's that tag team continuity you talked about.
Yeah, don't count him out just yet, Grim. They will give you a hell of a lot of fight.
Absolutely they will.
I have a feeling, as Josh would say, it's chops for dinner. That one's for you, Josh Armour.
Do you know the scary thing, Sean? When you were in the ring about to announce this match, Grim was over in the corner practicing his chops.
On the ring post.
Well, did not making like shadow boxing, but throwing them, just getting his shoulder right, making sure that he had the motion, the technique. He actually practices the technique.
Good Lord. Skilled hands indeed. Brody, very happy to be back in the ring. Oh, and hasn't lost a step. That patented power slam. Clearly no ring rust on the Gladiator.
Absolutely not.
Here we go, that continuity we're talking about. My God! Oh! How destructive do you want to be? Yet somehow Theseus is still able to kick out. We've not seen anything of Gabriel Aeros since that Sparta boot.
No, has not reappeared on the apron. Has not even put his head above the top of that mat.
I'd be surprised if he hasn't even stirred yet.
Oh, went up and over and got caught there on the shoulder of Grim.
Manages to work his way out though, pushes him off. Big forearm, but not big enough. I think that hurt Theseus more than it did Grim.
I think it just made Grim angry, Sean.
Choking the very life out of him. Michael Kent trying to get control. Choke slam. And there's Gabriel Aeros to save the match. But to Grim, it was almost an annoyance more than anything else. Thanks for coming, Gabriel.
Holds onto that top rope somehow.
Oh! Tag team continuity of a different kind now. Theseus winds up. Grim out of the way. Blind tag there by Marshall. Oh, Sparta boot again. The Parea have done a lot of talking this past month on social media. A lot of claims about being unbeatable, calling gods and monsters gronks. I think it might have gotten to the big men. Whoa! What the hell was that?
That was a pop-up to pop-up powerbomb.
Good Lord. And an assistant powerbomb.
I think Gabriel Aeros would be happy to have gone back and still not stirred.
Double cover. And that's over. Definitive statement by two of the biggest athletes to ever walk the halls of Riot City, or as Josh would have called them, the mean streets. The Viking and the Gladiator taking the gold.
Well, to the victor go the spoils, Sean, and they certainly were the victors this evening. And they are rejoicing right now in holding those RCW Tag Team Championships.
And while HQ may have been Parea home turf, you can't deny the residents are happy with this historic moment.
And that must be a little bit sweeter for Gods and Monsters. They came to their home turf and they beat them at their own game.
The pain of the previous loss wiped out. A successful return to the ring for Brodie Marshall. A new title for Grim. 3 championships in that stable now. The Women's Championship and the Tag Team Championships. We talked earlier about the nations. Gods and Monsters are a force to be reckoned with.
Indeed they are. Indeed they are. Sean, the Parea have not stirred. They are just now starting to move. That is an absolute... That was something just we haven't seen before. We haven't seen these boys taken to task like that before.
Not only that, but one of them wasn't pinned. Both of them were pinned. That was a tag team loss for the champions.
What next for the Parea, Sean? What next from here?
There are losses and there are dethronings.
Yeah, this is going to be very sobering. Right now, those boys are sitting there in the ring, looking around in their home turf, as you said, hearing Gods and Monsters music and thinking to themselves, what the hell just happened?
That pop-up to pop-up power bomb. That second power bomb. What a moment. They were so convinced that they were unbeatable, especially in HQ.
It's often what happens, Sean. You get a little bit ahead of yourself, a bit complacent, start believing your own hype just a little bit too much.
The look on Eli's face. They're in shock.
I don't think they quite know what to think, Sean.
It's going to be a long Friday night for the Parea now.
Indeed it is.
They try to figure out where to go next.